Welcome grade 8 to another math video. In this one we're going to be stepping through some of the different exercise 7.4 practice questions and just going through, if you're stuck on a particular question, how we would solve that question and some of the steps to get to the particular solution. So this is only if you're stuck or if you're needing an explanation for one of these questions as you're working through. So first things first, we have a number of different polygons and we are given the majority of the angles that are there, but we're asked to solve for what's missing. So in question 1a, we are given a four-sided polygon. We are told the angles of 61 degrees, 130 degrees, 65 degrees, and we have to figure out the remaining one. That's our x. Well, it is a four-sided shape, so we know that the sum of interior angles is going to equal 360 degrees. I have 3 already. I have to figure out what's left. So if I take that 360 and I subtract what I already know, 130 degrees, 61 degrees, and 65 degrees, I'll get whatever is missing. So 360 minus 130 minus 61 minus 65 is going to leave me with 221 degrees left. It's going to leave me with 360 minus 130 minus 61 minus 65 is going to leave me with 104 degrees for my x value. That's much better. It's always best to double check on the calculators before you write down your answers. 1b. This one we have a five-sided shape. And so our sum of interior angles right off the bat is going to be 540 degrees. You could go through and solving that using the formula n minus 2 times 180. So n is the amount of sides. There's 5 sides. 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 times 180 would be 540 degrees for interior angles. We know that this is 79. This is 125. This is 112. This is 116. And we're asked to figure out whatever this missing interior one is going to be. Same way we go about solving. 540 minus 125 minus 116 minus 112 minus 79 is going to give us whatever our missing x value is. So 540 minus 125 minus angle 116 minus angle 112 minus angle 79 would leave us with 108 degrees for our x value. All right, C. C, we are given a seven-sided shape. I'm not going to necessarily draw this shape. It would be a little bit too much to do that. But a seven-sided shape would mean that we have n minus 2 times 180 degrees. Seven-sided shape is 5 times 180 degrees, or it's going to give us 900 degrees total for interior angles. We know most of them already, and so all we have to do is subtract those from the 900 in order to figure out what's left. So subtract the 115, subtract the 130, subtract the 120, subtract the 162, subtract the 140, and finally subtract the 96. And that should leave us with 137 degrees for our x value. Next we have D. D is just a four-sided shape, but it's a little bit unique in that we are only given 2 of the angles. But we are told that the other angles are the same. So we're given 50 degrees, we're given 100 degrees, and x. We have to solve x. We have 2 x's, but they are the same. It's a four-sided shape, so in total it's going to be 360 degrees. I have 100, I have 50, so 360 minus 100 minus 50 means that I should have 210 degrees left I have two x's that are both the same, so we're going to split that. 210, we split that in half, which means 105 per x. Divide that by 2. X equals 105 degrees here and 105 degrees here. When I add them all up together, I get 360. So that steps question number 1. Let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2 just simply asks us to find the sum of interior angles for these particular shapes. So the first shape it asks is for a hexagon. Hexagon is a 6-sided shape. So 6 minus 2 times 180 is going to be 4 times 180, which is going to be 720 degrees. For B, we have an octagon or an 8-sided shape. 8 minus 2 times 180 is going to be 6 times 180 degrees, and that's going to give us 1,080 degrees for our total sum of interior angles for B. For C, let's step through that. We have a dodecagon, which is a 12-gon or a 12-sided shape. So 12 minus 2 times 180 equals 10 times 180, or 1,800 degrees for our sum of the interior angles. And then finally for D, we have a 20-gon, which is a 20-sided shape. 20 minus 2 times 180, which is 18 times 180 degrees, or 3,240 degrees total. So that just gives you the sum of interior angles. Again, we just subtract 2 from the amount of sides and then multiply it by 180 to figure out our final values there. Let's get to question number 3 from our practice. Here we're dealing with exterior angles. So in these questions, remember that it does not matter how many sides we have. The exterior angles equal 360. So in A, we are given 2 exterior angles, 112 and 101 degrees. So we bring those together, and that gives us 213 degrees. I have 360 in total, so 360 minus 213 is going to give us our missing exterior angle, which is 147 degrees. Next, B. This time, it's a little bit trickier because we're only given 2, although we should have 3. But there's a way to figure out the third if we take a look closely at the question. So it's a 4-sided shape, but it doesn't matter. Still, the sum of exterior angles is 360. We are given 72 degrees. We are given 113 degrees. We're asked to solve x, but we actually have a box in one of the other ones. So we know that because it's a box or a right angle, it's a 90 degrees as well. When we bring all of those together, 72 plus the 113 plus the 90, we see that we already have 275. So 360 minus the 275 is going to give us my x, or my x value is going to be 85 degrees. C. In example C, in this particular example, we actually need to solve for another exterior angle first before we go through. This one I'm going to draw just so that I can kind of explain it a little bit more. So I'm going to do the best I can with this one. Well, these shapes are a little bit odd to draw. So there's our shape here. We know that this is 113. We know that this is 75. We know that this is 77. This is 60. And this is x. So I know this, this, and this. I know these 3 exterior angles. I have to figure out this one, but I don't know this one here. That's what I need to solve first. So I do know this is a straight line. This is 113. So this would be 180. So 180 minus 113 means that what's left there is 67 degrees. That's this exterior angle that's missing, 67. So now I know that my exterior angles are 67, 75, 77, and 60. And so those are my exterior angles. And if I add them up together, that's 67 plus the 75 plus 77 plus 60. That gives me 279. And so 360 minus 279 is going to give us about 81 degrees for part C. And as I go through, I just realized that I solved this wrong. This shouldn't be 113, this should be 131, which is actually going to change our interior angle. It's not going to be 67, ignore what I just said there. The process of solving it is the same. Even math teachers can make mistakes. It's always good to double check your answers as well. This is going to mean this is 49 degrees. This is going to be 49 instead. Which just means that there's a slight difference. So 49 plus the 75 plus the 77 plus the 60 is going to give us 261, which would mean that now our value here should be 99 degrees. So that was my mistake, but the process is the same, just copied it down a little bit wrong. D. In question D, we are given a shape where, again, we're given some exterior angles, but not all. We are given 3 of them and then 3 x's as exterior angles. So we're given 75 degrees, we're given 50 degrees, and we're given 67 degrees. And so altogether, 75 plus 50 plus 67 is going to give us 192 degrees. And now we know that whatever is left, we have to split into 3. So there's 3 x's and they're all the same. So 360 degrees minus 192 degrees leaves us with 168. But there's 3 x's left, but they're all the same. So if I divide that by 3, I figure out that each x should be 56 degrees as we go through solving that particular question. Question 4, our last one that we're working with, it asks us to find the measure of each exterior angle of a regular polygon given its number of sides. For this one, number 4, we just have to realize that they equal 360 degrees altogether. And so if we divide it by the number of sides, we get the exterior angles. So for A, 360 divided by 5 is going to give us exterior angles of 72 degrees. For B, 360 degrees divided by 8 sides is going to give us exterior angles of 45 degrees. For C, 360 divided by 18 is going to give us exterior angles of 20 degrees. And then for D, our final one, at 24-sided, 360 divided by 24 gives us exterior angles of 15 degrees for each of them. So that's how you go through and solve the different questions that are here in our practice section for exercise 7.4, all about polygons and interior and exterior angles.